Hello and welcome back to another DIY video. Before we get started, make sure you give me that thumbs up to help the YouTube algorithm. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel in the bottom right hand corner. We're going to be changing out the front brake pads here on my 2011 Range Rover Sport. This is the HSE model. Let's get started. From the driver's side, obviously pop your hood. Go to the front. From the front, go over to the driver's side. There's a tab right here, push it in. That should come right out. And it'll expose your master brake cylinder reservoir right there. We're gonna go ahead and open it up, let it breathe. When you depress your pistons, brake pistons, it may overflow. So what you're gonna wanna do is take, some type of pump or something to suck some of this brake fluid out. At least that's what I'm going to do. So here's your master brake reservoir right there. To disconnect it, you just push this tab in like this, give it a soft tug, comes right off. You're going to unscrew it, and when you unscrew it, then it'll lift right up. Just put it somewhere safe and put it off to the side right here. And now, let me zoom out. You want to get like something to suck some of this brake fluid out. I have just a standard pump. It's kind of in this little bag. I always use the same one. And then it uses .4, so I'm using this Pitocin. Again, that's going to be for later to top it off. Alright, some tools you'll probably need. You might need more than this, but this is just high level. You're going to need something to hang and hold the calipers right here. I have aftermarket wheels, so these sockets right here, mine's going to be a 21. I think the OEM is 22. 13 millimeter socket, 17 millimeter flat wrench, like a skinny wrench, 13 millimeter crescent wrench, breaker bar, your brake pad separator tool. This helps compress the piston, just like a ratchet if you need an extra one, and a Flatblade screwdriver, and of course jack stand, floor jack. First and foremost, you want to crack the lugs. It's going to be hard to get it off when it's in the air. Next, you want to find a good jacking point. Now going to the front of the car, you want your secondary failover jack stand as well, just in case the floor jack fails, so it doesn't fall on you. Next, you're going to want to turn the steering wheel over to the far right so that this starts facing outward like this, so you have more leverage on the fasteners. You should have pretty good visibility and access right now. This right here, 13 millimeter nut, you have to put on the crescent wrench right here, the little skinny one, to hold it in place so it doesn't keep spinning. 13 millimeter, and then same thing right here. If you can, it's not a big deal, but if you can reuse your brake wear sensor, I personally probably would. Otherwise, you're going to have to pretty much take out this whole fender liner, because this is the brake sensor cable right here. It feeds all the way into this little area right here. Not a big deal, but it is more work. So what I'm going to attempt to do is, again, just you can wiggle this out softly, because it is kind of a oh, that was actually pretty easy. See how that I was able to successfully remove that. I can actually reuse this brake wear sensor. Again, if you snap it, it's not a big deal. You just have to remove this fender liner here. It's not overly difficult. It's just more work. You don't have to do this part, but I'm going to because I don't want the little cable here to snap when I'm gonna tuck it up here when I pull the caliper back. Let's cover it for now. You don't want it hanging too much now. That's how I have mine. You don't really want it just dangling on all of the wires. These actually don't even look that bad, but I'm actually just changing it up for this video. Now for this tool to compress the calipers. Since this is a DIY video, I like to get super generous with this kind of stuff. Take my time. Now, this little pin up here, give it a soft pull. Try to grab the boot also where my thumb is if you can. I'm going to pull this out. We're just going to clean it and put on some new grease. See? Put it back in. Get that little boot over that little ridge. Alright, now do the same thing for the bottom. Alright, so now you're just going to want to pay attention to the orientation. This little nub up here is going to always be facing outward. Just get a flat blade screwdriver and just pry it softly like so. Trying to do this with one hand. Or you can go ahead and pull these off as well, because your kit should come with replacements. Okay. Go ahead and just get a wire brush on this real quick. Alright, so I'm replacing the sleeve right now. I like to get pretty generous with it. We're going to fit this up top, putting the camera down. Whoops. Put your pad on. Sorry about that. Nice and snug. Do the same thing for the back one. Sorry about that drop. It's a little hard filming and doing it all with one hand. So my kit came with replacement screws. It looks like there's Loctite on it. The old one looks like some kind of red Loctite, but again, mine came with these replacement screws. Hopefully yours does too. I'm just starting it slowly so that it at least holds it in place for me. As far as the torque values on this, I don't have it on hand, so if you know, please leave it in the comments for the group. But I'm just tidying it up to how it felt like before. So what I did next, I just sprayed a little bit of brake cleaner on my brake wear sensor right there. I'm going to put it back on this little nipple right here and then insert it back in place. But everything else is going to be the same thing, but just in reverse. I'm going to go ahead and wrap up the video, so I'm trying to keep it short. If you like this content, make sure you give me a thumbs up to help the YouTube algorithm. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you want more Range Rover Sport content. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.